So you want to be a better mage, huh? Well, that probably means you're getting dove more than Michael Phelps is diving into an Olympic swimming pool and winning a gold medal, which is a lot, trust me. So let me guess, you want to be getting more kills, dying a lot less, and having a better time when you pick that mage role, and let me tell you, you've come to the right place. So today I'm going to give you the top 5 most simple and effective tips on how to become a better mage player in SMITE, so you can get your groove back like Stella and become the top wizard in Hogwarts. By the way, come on guys, was Ron really waiting 7 years to be getting with Hermione? I mean, give me that girl, I'll be getting with her in 7 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Okay, never mind. So without further ado, let's get started with the list. So the number 1 way to become a better mage player in SMITE is to develop the Mage Mentality. Now this is extremely important. Just like the Guardian, Warrior, or Assassin mentalities, the Mage Mentality is the baseline for how you want to be playing almost any character that you select in the Mage role. And in many ways, our ability to translate to the different roles and bring these different mentalities to them is going to determine a lot of our success and adaptability to situations. Now there are a few tankier characters in SMITE that fill the Mage role, such as Zhongqi or Hades, but for the most part, mages are medium to long range characters, meant to be in the back line, dishing out a ton of damage through spells and abilities, and then waiting till they're back on cooldown before they re-engage in the fight, not being in too precarious of a situation and definitely not being in the front line. See, mages aren't hunters either, so they do damage, but it's not consistent, it's more in spurts, and that means there's a go time and there's a not go time. You know, if you're on your honeymoon, all of a sudden it's go time, but when you get back home and you've got a little baby and she starts crying in the middle of the night, maybe not the best time to slip a hand down a panty.
But my power level is over 9,000. I can stick a hand down any panty I want at any time, Kakarot.
Yes, and that may be true. You could be the most powerful person on the battlefield in SMITE, but you have a very limited health pool. That's just the way mages are. And you will most likely be able to get focused down in a matter of seconds if you are out of position. That's why doing your mage role and sticking in the back line and making sure you play that medium to long range like the character is intended to be played will help you to survive and be a better player overall. You're a mage, you're not a fighter. You're somebody who has abilities, and that means you're going to have periods where you're on and then you're off. And it also means that you're not an upfront character, even though some mages do well holding down a front line on their own. Remember, range is your friend. You don't need to be up close to do your damage. That is your inherent strength. So use it. Stop giving up your strengths by rushing into a battle haphazardly, and especially if your Guardian isn't near you, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, let's get on to the number 2 way to become a better mage player in SMITE, and that is to understand your early game clear and damage potential. I cannot stress how important understanding this information is. Let me walk you through a scenario so you can understand the implications of knowing this info. Now let's look at a god who has extremely strong early game clear, pretty much recognized across the board in SMITE, and that is Isis. Isis, with very strong early game clear, has a lot of pressure in lane and at objective fights such as the mid harpies, or if you're in clash, at the mid damage buff. Now knowing this, you could play much more aggressively than your counterpart. Maybe it's a Hebo and you know you're going to be able to outlane him much better than he can early game at least, and that's going to make a big difference in terms of how aggressive you are. If you can poke your opponent out of lane and basically force them back under their tower, they'll start losing gold, and that means you can have a better chance to secure more objectives. If you secure more objectives, then you'll be able to get an experience lead, and if you get an experience lead, that means you'll be levels and gold ahead of them, which means you'll have more items, more experience, more health, more power, and essentially you will have an advantage at your next engagement, which should mean that you should win your next engagement and thus create a bigger advantage for yourself and your teammates. But let's look at this scenario as if you didn't understand that Isis was an early game god and that's how you needed to play with her. What if you just waited till late game and you just laned comfortably, allowed Hebo to get his farm up, and then tried to fight him? Well, Hebo would destroy you. Hebo is a ridiculous late game god, and he can probably two-shot you before you even have a chance to respond and throw up your circle of protection. Knowing whether your god is a late game or early game god can allow you to be more aggressive or more passive, stepping back if you need to, and changing your mentality based on the mage you're playing is a key to becoming a better mage player overall. A saying I love from one of my favorite books, Red Rising, and that entire trilogy is that if you're a fox, pretend to be the hare, and if you're a hare, pretend to be the fox, meaning that you shouldn't let your opponents know what you're capable of, essentially. And if you're not capable of much, make them think you're capable of much more. But if you think you're a fox and you're actually a hare, and if you think you're a hare but you're actually a fox, that could lead to some troubling issues for both parties. So make sure you understand your mage's early game potential and lane clear, and whether you need to play aggressively or kind of wait it out until the late game. GIF. You think if I become a better Smite player, Leela will love me again?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Now, you're on your way to becoming a much better mage player just with those 2 rules, but number 3 is also very important and very unique. It's called count your mana. That's right, because counting your mana is the key oftentimes to your kills and to your escapes. Like a warrior lives and dies by the sword, a mage lives and dies by his or her mana. The fact that you understand your mana pool will give you so much more in terms of your ability to properly assess a situation and know your odds for success. Now, this is a very high level thing, and oftentimes it just comes with practice. Knowing exactly how much mana you have is kind of like a feeling, right? You think you have enough for 2 abilities, or you should be fine. Not many people are doing the on-the-go math at the time and understanding the exact mana counts for each of their abilities. But playing with that god more and more often so you understand, hey, I have enough for a leap and a damaging ability, or just a damaging ability, can make all the difference. I honestly cannot tell you all how many times I've been caught with my pants down thinking that I had a way to escape, but I really only had enough mana to use my first ability and not enough to use my dash, my teleport, or whatever it may be that I thought was going to get me to safety and have me spamming VEL back at the comfort of my own tower. I'm just kidding, I don't spam VEL. But if you spam VEL to me, punk, and you go ka with that little raw in my face, I'm gonna hunt you down and I'm gonna play well. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a friendly guy. I mean, a mage getting caught with no mana is like a car getting caught with no gas in the middle of nowhere. It's like a man on an island getting caught without a freaking boat, probably why he's on that island. It's like somebody trying to rob a store but realizing when they hold up the teller that they forgot their gun and now they just look very foolish. Being aware of what you have in terms of your mana pool can help you to make smarter decisions as a mage and not put you in precarious situations that sometimes can kind of feel like they sprung up on you when you really just weren't paying attention to the fact that when you went in and tried to get that kill, you didn't leave yourself enough mana to escape. Now, the number 4 way to become a better mage in Smite is positioning. Oh yeah, and positioning. I mean, this is like the holy grail. This is what Monty Python were looking for. Honestly, this is the key to becoming a better mage player if I were to select one out of these 4 or 5 rules to really take home with you and practice daily. Positioning can mean everything. It could be the difference between whether you get off your abilities or you get jumped by the enemy team and don't have a chance to contribute anything in a team fight. It could be the difference between you poking somebody out and actually putting a team fight in your favor before it even starts, or you getting poked out by the enemy team. Now here's the truth, guys. I'd rather have a bad mage on my team than a dead mage. That's right. Even if you can barely land your abilities or you keep missing your ults, if you are well positioned and you could stay alive in a fight and occasionally add damage, it is so much better than somebody who is basically trying to do it all and getting killed and making it a 4v5 almost every single encounter. So if you look around and you can't see your guardian anywhere, back the heck out, dog. Just back away. I mean, the truth is you're not a soloist. You're an ensemble piece, and that's how you work best. If you are positioned so that you are near your teammates at all times, you will be able to apply the pressure that you bring as a mage so much more effectively, and teammates of yours will be much more grateful to have you near them. But not only that, the enemy team will become more and more frustrated that they can't kill you. They'll want to make reckless decisions to try and dive the back line and kill you and get you out of the fight finally, but that will open them up to a lot of cannon fire from your teammates and usually swing the fight in your favor. So try to keep an eye on where your teammates are and fight with them. Don't go out on these solo journeys. This isn't Into the Wild. I read that book. It was pretty good, but we don't need to see it again in every single Smite game. And just so you guys know, I am constantly working on my positioning as well, and it helps if you have teammates who are willing to tell you this. If you're in a clan, ask your teammates to give you some feedback. Hey, how was my positioning in that last team fight? How did I do in that game? That way you can always be aware of whether they feel you are kind of overstepping and putting yourself in dangerous situations, or if you were playing really well. Remember guys, both negative and positive feedback are important in life. They help to give us direction as to where we're going on our chosen path. Letting somebody know that they've got a booger in their nose when they're about to go into an important meeting may be a negative feedback comment, but it is ultimately helping them, and that's what we should aim to do here in Smite with the players who we play with and our friends in our clans. Man, are we really almost at number 5? I mean, this video has gone by so fast. Mercury! And I want to thank everyone for watching. If you like these types of videos and you want to support this series, please leave a like, share, comment, and of course subscribe to the channel here at Rain Day Gaming. What we're doing for gaming is amazing, and I really love engaging with you guys on a continual basis in my gameplays and other videos, and of course these top 5s. Now, for my last rule on how to become a better mage player in Smite, It's to use your abilities not just to kill, but to survive. Now this is a rule I struggle with. I often am the guy who holds my purification beads thinking there's a better time to use them even though I just got CC'd to death and died. And a lot of times I'm that guy who doesn't use his Scylla ultimate because there was nobody to kill, not realizing that the 70% movement speed it could have provided me, while it wasn't useful in killing anybody, would have been useful in escaping my pursuer who actually took me down. From my experience, to become a better mage player, you have to start thinking outside of the box. Janice's ultimate can be a great snipe, sure, and it's awesome to get those highlight clips. But what about when your teammate is in trouble? Can you have the wherewithal to use your ultimate to make a tunnel for them to get out of danger and into safety? Or can you use your ultimate for utility, portaling your entire team into the enemy's base and taking down their Titan before they have a chance to take down yours? See, the magic of a mage and the magic of SMITE is that so many of these characters, like we've shown in the Dare Me series, can provide different things than we usually think they can. A really good mage player understands the god they're playing and understands the variety of ways they can use their kit, both offensively to get kills, defensively to survive and help their teammates, and how, from a utility perspective, they can support their teammates in securing objectives or moving across the map extremely quickly. Ever since I've been a kid, I've loved the idea of a mage. I love magic, and I love the idea of magic existing in this world, which I firmly believe it does. Maybe in not the witchcraft and wizardry way, but in the simple things, I think magic does exist. And that's why I've waited so long to make this video, because I needed it to be good. I needed it to live up to my idea and my love for mages in not only SMITE, but in all games I've ever played as a kid. And as a YouTuber and content creator, it's absolutely magical to see the support each and every one of you have for content like this on my channel. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart, and know that I will continue to do the best I can to bring magic into each one of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you guys next time.